Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another hopefully profitable day in the futures market. How are we all doing out there today? Checking the markets for overnight. We'll check NASDAQ here. First off, it's been an uptrending day so far. NASDAQ hit its low shortly after the open and recently hit a high before pulling back. About an 85-point range since open. As it's this high here is about 95 points off of its all-time high. On the S&P, you can see I already marked it off. Oops. We want to do that. The S&P continues to make all-time highs. Topped out here, it's pulled back, but it's trending upwards again here. So all-time high is now 45.7850. I think. No, make that 45.8075. I had my cursor on the wrong candle. So continuing that uptrend, it's going to the moon. Copper. Copper's had an interesting day. We just missed a signal there. Um, you can see these resistance lines I drew out last night, and it still hasn't breached those. These were yesterday's highs and lows. It's come down even lower since from yesterday. Highs were right this white line here, so we'll get rid of this white line right here, and we'll move the yellow line there. It's a range of about 160 ticks. The Ultra Bond there. Put this here. Looks like we're double topping here. See if it can get above that. You can see here, we reached the high here, and now it's right back there after this pullback. So we'll see whether or not it can break through, or if this is going to send it downward. So far, about a about a point and a half range on the Ultra Bond. Russell just sent us a signal. I don't know where though. The Russell. Ouch. There. There. Russell's about an 11-point range. Kind of a small on the Russell. What's the signaling for? I don't see anything. It looks like ES is trying to send us a sell signal, but not a lot of volume yet. You know what I didn't check is the Russell at an all-time high. Possibly. I don't have this on continuous contract. Looks like we're close. We're not quite where we were in June. 2336. I'll have to get this back onto its continuous contract page though. Um, Crude oil. Crude oil is having a down day compared to yesterday, where it hit highs that we haven't seen since 2014. So far, though, it has a nice bounce off of this 8,300, 83 level. We've had about a 1 point range, a little more. Natural gas. Volume's been light on natural gas. Thank you. Looks like we're starting to get some sell signals here. Looks like we missed sell signal there. Um, let's just look. You can see here on the this is on the S&P 500. I've already charted it out from overnight. The last two times we would have tried to take sell signals, we would have stopped out. So I'm hesitant on this. It's flying above the EMA. This move here, we would have got only less than 2 points off of that, and this one never even gotten anywhere. So I'm not taking that. Maybe this is the one that breaks it, but I'm not taking it. But we'll chart it. Looking for 4x2, so we'll have to get all the way down there. Okay, back to natural gas. Natural gas, again, it was really light on volume. You can see here overnight, there was its highs, but some of these 5-minute candles, this is a 5-minute candle with only volume of 7, so the volume has been light in natural gas. It's come down. It's actually making new lows of the day right now. We did get back above 6 overnight. It looks like it's about 170 ticks overnight. Copper. Copper came out, gave us a buy that would have fizzled and is now coming down. You see, it's been in a long uptrend since about 2 hours ago. Off this uptrend, we've gone up about 80 ticks. So that's pretty impressive. This did send a sell, but I'm not 100% sure about it. It's at the SMA line on the 5. So we'll just continue charting out the highs and lows of the day for just this just a little bit here. I think I have 1 or 2 to go. Uh, Gold so far has an inside day, meaning all of its price action is inside yesterday's. There we go. Only an 8 point range so far on gold, which is quite small for what we've seen recently. Maybe a little bit more. I marked out a little low there. Let me see. There we go. So yeah, about 8.5 points. Platinum's probably the same. Platinum, I haven't charted platinum lately. Platinum's pretty much been in a downtrend since open though. There we go. Its high was at open. So gold just sent us a signal. What did it send us? Let's go to the videotape. Oh, well, they actually sent us a signal here. That must have been a 5-minute, 2-minute chart signal. I haven't taken away the alerts in the 2 minutes, even though I'm now working off the 1 minute. We'll chart this one out. See if this would have went. So we got our established our highs and lows. I didn't do the agriculture. Soybean oil. It's on a downtrend now, but it's been kind of up and down. Looks like we got a few good moves out of it. Corn, not a lot of volume, barcoding there for a while. It's kind of stagnant on the day. See, and now, it looks like copper right now is just ranging with a slight uptrend. We saw this, obviously a nice big uptrend here. This sell signal would have failed big time. This buy may have worked though. So right now you can see we're in a tight range. Since here, we're looking at only about maybe a 15-point range for the last 45 minutes or so, probably longer actually if we go back to here. Multiple buys and sell signals are long and short is really what it should be. Long short, but right now this here will be in the profit. We'll hit up to the goal is 70, at 75 or sorry, 15 ticks. So we shall see. We shall see. We can continue to see gold's now on our 1 minute chart is sideways basically. Everything's running horizontal. Continue charting out for the night. It looks like this will have been hard to play overnight. Yeah, this is where I have a little bit of a problem though. Let's see, is this sent a buy signal here? It looks like this, no, well maybe. That would not have. Actually, eventually it would have. See, this is where, if I would have got out of this trade here, if I was in this trade, I would be like, do I want to get out here where it sends the opposite signal? Excuse me. So, and then we run this through and we see that this will be an extra long trade. Oh, but eventually, maybe not. Even, yeah, there we go. Eventually, this would have gave us our profit goal. But it would have taken 305 all the way to, would have taken about an hour and 45 minutes. Okay, so NG, I think it was. NG just hit another new low. There we go. And Q, I saw. So you see here, the S&P's coming down some. NASDAQ kind of sideways here, but it did also, it had a sell signal here, but it was well into the bands. I wouldn't have taken that trade. And even if I had, it wouldn't have gotten the normal profit goal I go for by any means. It only went down 4 points, which is not a lot for the NASDAQ. So we're seeing tight ranges right now. Now the S&P is still coming down. The S&P would almost be at 2 points. Crude oil. Crude, big sell. We see a steep uptrend on the 5-minute chart. So this is also gives me pause. we'll watch that. Let's finish charting out gold. We're approaching the 8 o'clock hour where we usually start seeing things pick up. So this gold chart, this sell signal I wouldn't have taken. Big upward band trend here. Uh, let's see. So we get a lot of signals when we're working off the 1 minute chart. So then we're another buy signal on copper. At some point, one of these are going to go. Obviously, they're not. It's not going to range, but you just don't know which one. This one, see, we've had this buy signal here. Now this one. This is the original one. Maybe this is the one that goes. I don't know, but it's hard to tell. Right now, we're just stuck in this tight range. Oh, what's that other signal? RTY, the Russell. Russell. Actually, the Russell signal was back here that we would have wanted. This is the 5 minute chart. See that the Russell would have also probably been hard to play in this rangy area when, honestly, when things are looking sideways. If you see the SMA chart, you see the SMA line. See how this basically went sideways through here. Now, an uptrend, it was slightly uptrending, but the only real thing to play here, and this is one of those things where Bollinger Bands can be used. You know, crude. Crude's still trying to go down. We'll see what happens. But Russell was where we were. See here, hit this top band, came down, hit this bottom band, almost hit the top band, came back down, came back up, hit the top band, then hit the bottom band, and it kept ping-ponging pretty much off the bands until finally here, it finally went up. So, I mean, you could have been going for scalps here. These were, not big scalps, like 50, 75 bucks. But if you went in with like 3 contracts, you'll be hitting, 100, 150 each time. Let's continue our charting of gold. So, you know, right here, it would have been hard to say that this would have been something you shouldn't take. The only thing is about the bands, being close. But if we got in here, obviously this would be a stop out. I don't even need to draw that all the way out. And our short here, off of this cell. Check out that bond chart here in a minute. Oops. Boom. It's one of those times once you're seeing that you're tight ranging, we'll be able to make, smaller whatever profits and whatever. This would have stopped out. Again, this is where do you get out at? Do you get out? If we would have gotten either of these buy signals, that would have worked. So we'll mark that off, and then we'll check those signals that are firing. At least I think it would have worked. Yeah. But with the tight range that goal was in, obviously the stops you could have went for maybe one 1 point instead of 1.6. Okay, what were those signals? Crude oil and the bonds. So crude oil, nope, see, I was right about this. This was just a slight pullback. It's such a tight range right now that it's easy to get buys and sells real quick. This would have never gone anywhere for us. Now we're back in a buy. We were in a buy. This was just a pullback. So this is actually probably, yeah, and I missed the signal. That could jump in now. This has been in a long uptrend overnight. Well, over the last hour and a half. Bonds. Not even sure what signal they were sending, although the bonds just had a new all-time high. Not all-time high, I'm sorry. A new daily high. You're gonna see Discord jump up here. Just ignore it. I didn't check to see. So another signal in the Russell. Let's try and chart out the Russell from overnight. The about 1 minute chart takes forever to go backwards. We see this is where I stopped charting last night. When I went to bed. Well, not when I went to bed, but the last I looked at it. Let's see if this ever gets to profit. There we go. Right there. That would have been a profitable one. Now you see this is sending us, signals every couple of minutes. This work gets hard, but we see we are in a downtrend. I would have ignored this sell, and then I would have tried another. I mean, I would have ignored that buy, and then I would have jumped in on this sell, to see whether or not we could get another win out of it. Looks like we would not. We will get close though. If you see here, we got boom, boom, got within 4 ticks. So again, lesser volume overnight. So, maybe smaller goals. But on the spreadsheet that I keep, this will count as a loss. Because even here, even if I would have thought that maybe it was reversing here, this buy signal was below the SMA line, which is still kind of downtrending. So I wouldn't have gotten in. Now maybe over here, and that would have worked. This buy signal would have worked, but there was no way I would have known that. So I try to keep my bias out of this charting and do worst case scenarios. So worst case scenario, this is what stopped me out there. Now we were uptrending, so I wouldn't have taken this sell. Wouldn't have taken this buy because we're in the bands. This sell, this one I probably would have taken. Let's see if that would have worked. I would have taken this because we were sideways and well above the bands. Yep, this would have stopped us out just right at the top of that candle. That really, that sucks. But that's okay, because, gave us another sell signal right again. Jumped in there, and that would have got the profit. So, and that would take us to there, and then we would have got this nice long uptrend. But anyway, thank everyone for joining me this morning. Please feel free to say hi in the chat, so I know I'm just not talking to myself. And I'm always available if you have any questions, any comments, statements, insults. So starting in the middle of the night, the Russell here started giving us really good signals. Getting some, we've gotten to profit a few times here, as you can see. Right there's another one. Then it starts getting hard. Right here, if you notice, from there to there, we have this just up. Now, how do you know what to take? You really don't. Next, after this, the next signal that, after this close, the next signal I got was buy. The, it was low volume, but the bar was right in the middle here. We were above the SMA line. There'd been nothing to say don't take that. So let's mark it off there, right here. For looking for 3 points or 30 ticks with a 1.5 tick stop, which would have stopped us out there, which is the absolutely lowest part before this big move. So that means, now I might have been a little bit gun shy at this point to jump back right back in. But if we did, it would have been a good one. Okay, there. Sometimes when they have low volume, it doesn't want to latch on. And so that would have been another good trade. And then the short here, just the most recent one. So far has not gotten where we want to go, but we'll see. Okay, natural gas signal. It's a hard trading. Honestly, right now it's everything is kind of iffy. You can see this barely any volume on natural gas all night. Crude. So right here at the 8 o'clock hour, crude keeps trying to push down, but we see it's not even below the last time we got a signal. And on the 5-minute chart, you can see we're hitting highs of the day. Natural gas just hit another new low of the day. Just keeps coming down. Apologize if you hear the train noise. I'm not sure how well that comes through. It's at 8 o'clock. What's the ES doing? I saw a signal. Sideways as well. You see everything's kind of sideways. Gold, sideways. Copper, sideways. Natural, natural gas, gold. Everything's kind of trying to send signals, but everything's, what's the word we're using? Sideways. The bonds, they haven't really been sideways lately. See, we had a nice uptrend here. It's pulling back. But I'll say this pattern right here, no, I think we actually would have got it if we got in on this sell, but this pattern right here is the one that often you'll see that fails. You have an uptrending SMA line. Now, we did break the SMA, but oftentimes we'll have one bar that comes down, and then that's where it just goes weird. It then turns around. You see this kind of hanging, and it'll go back up. Copper. Sell signal on copper. But below the bands. So I don't think it's going to hold. Let's take a bigger peek. See, overall, we're in an uptrend. this is, it's interesting because you're looking at this 1 minute chart and it's really hard to tell we're in an uptrend, but it is a slight uptrend. If you pull back, then you can kind of see it. But it's much easier to see on a higher time frame. So usually, if you're tightly ranging like we are in most things right now, you don't want to go against whatever slight trend you have. Not until you see kind of some sort of confirmation that you're reversing. Bonds long position here. We shoot for 7 points on the bonds, or 7 ticks. I'm sorry, and then that would have been a good one. I don't think we would have got 7 ticks yet on this signal. No, 4. 7 would actually take us down to an uptrending band. So that might be a little tough, but we'll see. Like I said, I expect this to reverse, but that doesn't mean it always. Looks like the bonds have actually given us a pretty nice moves overnight. It's like that's a good 7. Why do I use 7? I don't know. It's just what I've found through testing that has been working as a good profit target. 7. You can see the way it goes up and down. That if you try for too big of a profit, you may not get it. Platinum Russell. What's the Rusty doing? See, Rusty, this is an interesting and a good sign for, if you are in this troops, if you're in this trade, lots of signals all of a sudden. If you're in this trade here, you can see how the bands have now even entered the profit target area. This is a good sign. Now it is starting to go kind of sideways. You see the bands are starting to head horizontal. So, this trade will be up 13 ticks. So, you might want to just watch but you pretty much know you're not going to get stopped out or, go back to break even anytime soon because it would have to penetrate both bands. But, so you watch it. If it feels like it's starting to curl up slowly, then you get out for whatever profit you can get. Good morning, Pixel Pleaser. How are you today? Uh, bonds. That's what we're doing. Charting out the bonds. So this would have, let me put the right stop into there. There we go. Boom. See, this one would have been even much better. This one would have been almost $1,000. I'm doing okay. A little tired, but waking up. Doing any trading today? So stop that. Boom. Seems a bit slow so far today. Tighter ranges than what we've been seeing the last couple weeks. See, we're still in this. The indices have no idea what they want to do. This is actually at copper. The market doesn't have any idea what it wants to do right now. Although natural gas is definitely wanting to go down. which is interesting because you have crude oil going up. Hope everything's going okay. Have you just been busy or? So far, let's look at the ES. Since we have the ES almost fully charted out for the day up to this point, let's look at it, see what kind of win rate we'll be getting. One, two, three. These first two were only 2.5 by 2 for lower volume. That's so, well, remember, so on the 4 by 2, 1, 2, 2 and 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, and then two more losses. So 5 and 4, but remember we're running a 2 to 1. So 5 to 4 at 2 to 1 is 20 points minus 8 points. So that'd be giving us 12 points so far. If we had taken all those trades, that's $600. You're welcome. I hope things start, clearing up for you. I definitely understand that. NASDAQ. I don't think we've charted NASDAQ. This was, wow. Okay. So this is a long time for a NASDAQ trade to play out. That's showing how tight things were. Yes, those are Bollinger Bands. I run a 2 and a 3. I don't really pay attention to the 2, but usually if it hits the 3, you're going to see a bounce back. Like here, you can see this was curling up here, and the 1 minute it's not as definite, but you can see here, big move up, big wick, pulled down a little bit. Band, hit the band here, pull back, band here, pull back. It just kind of, on the second band I ignore it because you can see how it rides up the second band a lot. The two standard deviations, but 3 usually gives me a decent bounce back. But yeah, this Nasdaq you don't usually see. I run a 15 by 10, and this one would have actually went 5 hours to try, and it's to stop out at 10. What's copper doing now? See, everything's sideways right now. We're going up, coming right back down. So now this one, if I had gone for a smaller profit target, I would have, could have reached profit by, 12 points. Although we no one to know that when I entered that trade. But I do need to start adjusting better to market conditions that aren't moving as fast as normal. Now we see here, this would have been the next sell signal we would have gotten, so we mark that off. I have a feeling it's going to be a bad stat night based on this strategy just because we're not getting the rain. Again, this would have got 10 or 12, but not 15. HGNQ. I'm on NQ, haha. So this would again stopped out over here. We could have jumped in on this buy once we saw we were more than halfway to stop out. Have I tried VWAP bands? Yes, I have. In fact, at one point I plotted 3 of them on charts. And I do think there is something there, but I haven't taken enough time to really study them to see how best to use them. Matter of fact, I think if we go to copper, oops, go to copper, my 4 copper charts. Yeah, you can see I still have the VWAP here on the 5 and the 2. A lot of signals all of a sudden. The one, this is the 1, the 2, and the 3 standard deviations. So, and I started studying it, and I could tell, when it starts breaking. Do you find do you find an advantage over from with the VWAP bands over Bollinger bands? Gold, pulling back. Let's finish our charting of the Nasdaq. See here, you see that this actually takes us below our SMA line, so I would have been cognizant of that if I'd been in this trade. But as you can see, it worked out. Boom. See, copper just doesn't know what it wants to do. This is a really tight range. Crude again made a new daily high. Cool. I'll have to, I'll have to take a little time to study it more and see, see how they work with these signals that I get right now. I mean, this is a 1 minute chart with the VWAP bands, and I can definitely see. It's if I make this. I did notice that that's why I plotted out the 1, the 2, and the 3. I noticed that anytime it gets the 3, you're gonna probably get back up to the into this channel here. So so once it got past the yellow line down between the 2 and the 3 between the 2 and the 3 deviations, I would not have taken any type of a short, even though I mean it would continue to go down, but and I figured that then I could take any long that was once we got above that band and just kind of use that as a support point. And that I noticed that they like to bounce on the VWAPs, boom, 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 boom. So like this would have been a great buy if it's toward the lower end of that band. Trying to find something that's giving me some sort of decent signal. So this would have been a stop out here. This on this gold if we had taken it. We've charted out all of gold now except for that last signal. Oops. So let's see what its stats for the day would be. One, one and one, 1 and 2. 1 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 4, 3 4, 3 6, boom boom boom, 6 6, 7 6, 8 6, 9 6, 10 6, 10 7, 12 7, 12 8, and then these would have been, I was playing with a shorter target on those, so looks like about 13 to 7, which isn't as bad, but it's started off a lot better than it is toward the more recent. But this looks ugly. I mean, it looks like it looks better on a 5 minute. It really doesn't look better on a higher time frame. We're just really choppy right now. Rusty. So yeah, I talked just a bit ago about how you felt safe once these bands were in your below your entry point, but now the bands have expanded again. We actually did go back above what would have been above breaking, break even. It's coming back down again. It just everything's sideways, and it's not giving me anything that I can take as a trade. So for the bonds have been the best. That would have reached our profit target. I might really need to start playing on the bonds. This would have been, let's see, 1, 2, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, 5 2, 6 2, 7 2, 8 2. 8 and 2 since the open for 7 ticks each. We just got to buy on it as well. But 7 to 2. No, I'm sorry, 8 to 2. 8 times 7 ticks minus 10 ticks. 46 times 31.25. So that would have been very nice profit. Bonds is something I've just been looking at, and lately I've been charting it out. I just started looking at because Canadian futures trader who's you know really popular, and he has a lot of success with the. That's the main thing. He mainly trades the treasuries, and so I started looking at it, and for I don't like the high tick value. 31.25 per tick is scary because if it goes down quick, it can give you trouble quick. But it really moves nicely. It seems like I'm finding each day it's you know if you look at yet we look at yesterday here. I charted out uh, one, 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 2 to 2, 2 3, 3 3, 4 3, 5 3, 5 4, 5 5. I thought this was a better day yesterday. Maybe not, or maybe this was a bad day. 5 5 5 6. Here we go. 6 6 7 6 8 6 9 6 10 6 11 6. So yeah, 11 and 6 yesterday, based on a 7 by 5, which is a risk reward ratio of 1.4, which is not bad. So what did I just say? 8 and 6. I forget now. 1 2 3 4 5. We won 6 in a row, right here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 in a row. Then we would have went on a losing streak here. 1 2 3 4. So 8. No, there we go. 8 3 6 and 3. I'm sorry. 8 and 3. 9 3. I'm confused now. I confused myself, but it would have been a good profit, good ratio. So I'm really thinking of starting to add the bonds to my overall repertoire. What were all those signals? Nasdaq. Ooh, now there's a move. I should have been paying more attention. That would have been a good, very good. Now we might be starting to see some market movement. See, the ES made the same move. See what's going on. Copper also heading down. Gold also big move down. Uh, something spooked the market. Oh, big move down in the bonds as well. Oops. That was an 11 tick candle. 11 tick, 1 minute candle. Yeah, I'm in the earn the trade 75K. Traded last night here on stream for a bit. Up $162 on the Gauntlet account for today. Uh, my psychology keeps getting in the way, and you see how I chart out every trade I would have taken based on these signals and where things are at on the chart. I use the signal first, take a look, and then as long as it's not into a band or it's an obvious support resistance area, then I'll jump the trade in. And I keep a spreadsheet. I'm not sure if you've seen this in other, but it gives me very excellent win rates, and then I just keep doubting it. Like copper, I did the other day. I did copper. I have 9 weeks of data here, and over 9 weeks of data based on my profit target, stop loss, and this strategy, it would have given me a 62% win rate at 20, at a 1.33 reward to risk. So I should just be taking every possible copper trade. You can see this is last week. It went 58 and 34 using the 1 minute chart. That was last week that I switched to the 1 minute chart. So 58 divided by total amount of trades would be 92. Yeah, that's 63% win rate. If I could have, if it would be possible to stay up 5 straight days and take every possible trade, it would been 650 ticks to profit. So it's what I'm doing is a winning strategy according to the numbers, and I'm just for some reason I just keep doubting it. It's like for some reason my mind says it's like, well, it's too easy. This shouldn't work. This simple strategy of using this one indicator that sends me the buys and sells based off the ATR, and then just adding some bands and looking at the SMA trend and EMA trend shouldn't be this easy. Oh yeah, I mean I have everything set up that when I go in, when I enter a trade, it automatically puts orders in for my profit target and my stop loss. And so I never, you know, when I first started trading, I would move my stops and stuff like that. I would try, hope for things. Now I just, if I move my stop at all, it moves it close. I move it closer instead of further away. So Right. I agree with you. See, and the thing is if I could prove that this works first to myself, this is something I could teach others. This is, these are all free indicators. So, this is something I could teach others as well. If if I get a 60% win rate with reward to risk that's above one, and I'm doing it on multiple assets, that'd be something other people could learn. They could start charting this out for themselves and seeing it and trying it out. And, you know, it's very simple. It's not a complicated strategy or whatever you want to call it at all. This would have just stopped us out. And now this is one of those where I probably would not have gotten into this trade. Usually, if you see a huge candle down like this, even though it didn't break the third band, you're going to see somewhat of a pullback, even if it does continue to go the right direction. Yeah, and that's true, and I appreciate you saying that. It's just I would love to be able to say, hey, this is what got me funded. Once I get funded, instead of this appears to work, but yet I haven't made it work yet. It more credibility once I actually am putting it into play and making it work. So crude is hanging around this all-time high. I guess we could chart out crude here while we wait for something to give us set signals. I haven't checked to see. See, we had this big move down here on the indices, but it wasn't. Again, it's not a sustained move. We did get we got 3 points since we got, so maybe that's what should have been shooting for. But that said, this has been crazy to have to go through just to get there. Yeah, I mean the other thing is I mean just about every asset. Where's my did it there? I'm getting good win rates. I mean, it's very, I chart out every day. And there's some missing here that I just didn't get to, and I only started natural gas. And you can see these are the amounts see from each day. And every now and then, something does give me a negative, but it's very rare. Here, this would have been like negative 25 ticks. This is one of the worst. This day on gold on October 14th, for whatever reason, was horrible. And would have given me negative 119 ticks. But at that point, I would have probably just said, um, at some point I would have said, gold's just not working today. And you can see here, that day, natural gas would have been 60 ticks, copper 100 ticks, RTY 175, so on and so forth. So this is working on every asset. Uh, Pro Plus, I believe it's the second most expensive one, 29 a month. You're welcome, Raul. Good morning. How are you doing today? Okay, gold finally found its direction. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for it. So this sell went down into the bands. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have taken that, but as you can see, it would have worked. That's a huge down. That's a $700 1 minute candle. So we just had a bottom drop out on gold at 8:30. Well, right before 8:30 actually. Wonder what happened. There's something had to have happened because we've seen everything kind of trend downward there for a few minutes. Excuse me. Copper. Copper came down. It looks like copper also, obviously we would have had no idea that this sell signal was finally going to be the one that worked instead of this one. But it looks like this would have got to my normal 20 tick profit target. Now we have a buy signal, and we're starting to see some actual movement here, volume increasing. Oh, I need to find a chart quick. We're going to jump in here and probably give back our profits in the day, but wait, where the heck's my copper chart? Well, I guess we're not going to get into this trade because we don't have a chart. I wonder what I did to close that out. So, well, that's weird. I haven't had copper set up to have 4 different charts on it, so I'm not sure what happened there. Okay, so with that here, we see, and I should have jumped in. It's heading upwards, 4 ticks up, very tight on the 5 minute though. So we'll chart that out. I think I missed that by not having a chart. I don't never close down my copper chart. I don't know what happened. But you can see here, going for the regular profit target I normally go for, it's going to need a stair step up because right now it would go into the bands. We never did finish doing our NASDAQ charting here. We still really don't have any type of momentum going anywhere, and I'm not sure what to think of that really. Might end up being a choppy day. See again, this did not reach profit target. Again, this would have reached about 10. So if we had been going for 10 instead of 15, 15 normally works. I mean, 15 eventually worked there. This, this would have been a winner if we had been going for 10. Even so, right now we're 1, 2, 2 to 2. This would have also been a winner at 10. So 2 to 2, 3 to 2, 4 to 2. 4-2 since open on the Nasdaq. 15 by 10. So 120, 100 points. That's $2,000 on the Nasdaq. And both of these losses could have been winners if we were running 10 instead. Now let's see though. If we're running 10 instead, that'll make these winners. Wait, never mind. That's not 100. Is that 100.36? No, 1560 minus. So I'm sorry. That was 40 points. Where did I get 100 at? So 40 points. That's $800. But if we had been running all these as 10s, we would be 6-0. 60 points. So that'd be $400 more. GC. So gold is, gold definitely established a new low here. We had that tight 8-point range, and now it's made it a 14-point range. Platinum did the same thing, kind of, but platinum actually, it's interesting, platinum double bottomed here. Platinum basically almost hit the exact same spot it hit earlier. It's trying to come back up. Bonds are continuing to go down, so you can see here, it stopped us out for that. It would have stopped us out for that 5-tick loss. Went a total of 6 ticks backwards there, and then so even the AT using the ATR wouldn't have saved us from a stop out there. Now we could get back. We could have entered a trade here if we wanted to. Once it got back down below this level, right there. So let's see whether or not that will work. A lot of hypotheticals that I don't actually play that I probably should play. So gold, did that big move down. Now it's kind of sideways. It's sending us another sell signal. We're still on a downtrend. So you know what? Let's find a gold chart, unless I close that one too. It's kind of flirting with, okay, the signal went away. 14 seconds on this candle. 10. It's green now. Sell signal on the new candle. Should have just jumped in. That new candle's already 6 ticks. Yeah, see ya, and that sucks. The sell signal went away on the this last candle. I usually wait till a candle closes, and now this one immediately opened and immediately went 8 ticks. Trying to figure out what this white line is here for, and I don't see a reason for it, so it's going away. Okay, well here that only went 8 ticks. Now it's back to green. We're seeing here on the 5-minute, it seems to be trying to just kind of do a red green down. Yeah, there we go again with the sell. It's not making me feel confident here. As we approach about 15 minutes before 9 on the East Coast. Welcome to anyone who's joining me this morning. Thank you for being here. Please feel free to say hello in the chat. If you have any questions, always feel free to ask. If you have any comments, just tell me what you're trading or how things are going this morning. Gold's not just kind of going sideways now. is the NASDAQ. Still not giving us any real direction. Bands are tightening again. Crude oil. What's crude been doing? Oh, we never finished charting out crude. I'll do that later. So you can see crude's been in this range here. Double topped between these two candles here. Came back down from that double top, but not a lot. 9 ticks. That same 9 tick candle back up. We got a buy here. Does it have follow through though? I don't know. Overall, we're in a pretty good uptrend. And I think, let's see. So, this buy signal would have worked for 20. This buy signal would have come close to stopping. Well, actually, would have stopped us out because 16. So that one would have been bad. So it's hard to tell right now. Gold's still trying to give us signals here. But now we have tightening bands. The irony is here, this is back, it gave us our first signal like right here or right here, right there. And I don't know, 97, I guess not. I mean, it's basically sideways. I'm getting, I don't know, the word, I'm not frustrated, just I would like to have something to trade that gives me a decent signal. I'm not even taking sim trades on anything. Russell's kind of doing well, but now this trade would be over halfway to profit. Ignore me, I'm just checking out the hot stock of the week, even though I don't trade stocks. I guess we can go back to charting because we still have nothing. So let's chart this crude oil out. Platinum's trying to tell us something, but I'm not in the platinum. And Bitcoin I don't even have up, so that would have reached. Yeah, it's interesting. I want to try and start also playing with seeing what the win rates are based on going with the trend. So this trend here is showing downtrending. So we can see this buy signal would not have gotten us there. So maybe here the strategy would have been to just take the shorts, and this would have it would have worked. Obviously, this as we're going along here, one, two, three, four, five, six different long signals all would have failed. So going with the trend here of the SMA line being above our price action, meaning we're in a downtrend. This would have got us. All these buys would have failed. All these sells would have worked. Now here's the problem with that though. So I mean, and we were close to the price action here. Now here we're a little bit further away. Now if we only had stayed, going with the trend, we wouldn't have taken this signal, and I think this signal would have worked. Let's try it. Doom. Yeah, I can already see. So that would have got our 20 ticks. Ooh, I'm hungry. And then this next one, obviously, I can see already would have worked. Right there. Russell must be sending us an opposite signal telling us to get out. No? Russell's very close to having reached our profit target on if we would have taken that trade. That trade barely started barely after we came on the air. What was I in crude? So crude now, this sell signal was a big candle down, a big down candle. Will give me a little bit of pause because oftentimes they fail after a big candle, and you can see this fails. But if we had seen that the failure was happening, this is with a good buy signal right here, far enough away from the EMA that we could have felt comfortable getting in and getting our 20 ticks. Now here's where we break the EMA. And you can see the EMA starts acting as a support. So first of all, we had this sell signal. We're still below the EMA, but why would they taking that? Because our SMA line was uptrending. So the next trade we would have taken this here would have been right there. That would have got our profit target. And then I would have continued uptrending. And from here all the way up to here is about $1,000. Okay, so what's the ES and the NQ doing? It doesn't know. It's still okay. Pixel Pleaser, I'll be here. Here again, a big wick. I mean, a big candle up. So this will be a little bit, but it stays in, and that would have got us 20 as well. Pull back, uptrending, so we probably wouldn't have taken this. This here, though, this would have been problematic. We would have taken that probably, and that would have stopped us out. So okay, what UB sending us a signal? Let's see what the UB has to say. Oops, wrong UB chart. So UB trended up. UB never did reach that 7 points that I mean 7 ticks that we were looking for anyway. So it wouldn't have mattered that it stopped us out. There's our buy signal on the bonds. Since we have nothing else going on, by the way, you see I'm still using a 2 minute on the bonds. Bonds don't have enough volume, I shouldn't say volume. Bonds don't have enough movement to go down to a 1 minute. Let me find. There's the signal right as. So let's jump in. We're on sim. And we immediately, because we marketed in, I should have did a limit order. Because we marketed in, we're immediately down one tick. But at least we have something going on. This is a sim trade, not on the gauntlet. But I need to do something. Yes, thank you. Sending signals. Maybe going down. It's hard to tell. It's kind of just barcoding right now, which is very unusual. Keep an eye on that while we check out these other signals. Crude pit's about to open. It usually sends us some action. Natural gas again came down and made another new daily low. This would have been a good trade here. I kind of started ignoring natural gas, but honestly, natural gas has probably made our biggest move of the day. It has we're almost at a 4 point range here, not point, but 400 ticks. This came from its highs to here. It's come down almost $4,000 in Kia. So we can chart out. I'll do the rest of the charting later. But see here, this would have been an excellent move. This would have been an excellent trade to take. This would have got us our 40 ticks. And then this upward, this would have made me hesitate because we were still up, downtrending, but it's looking strong here. We'll see if it reaches. We need to start taking some trades. Might be finally starting to get a little bit of volume. Let's see what happens here. Right at 8 or 9. Oh, yeah, we already passed 9 o'clock. No, we didn't. Sorry. We're about ready to pass 9 o'clock. So half an hour to the open. We're seeing the crude pit open. Ooh, big move up here on EQ and NQ. I mean, sorry, ES and NQ. See the energies. Big drop down here on crude oil. Big drop on natural gas. That would have stopped us out. It almost reached our profit target. But our bond trade is up 3 ticks, 4 ticks. Going for 7 ticks in profit. There's a 5th tick. Ouch. Okay. See a bunch of signals here. We have NQ, HQ, NG, and RTY. So let's check those out in order. And by order, I mean by, okay, see, we see this copper trade would have ended up getting into our profit target. It's pulling back now. NQ pulling back after that very small little run. RTY still going. I forget what the other thing. Oh yeah, natural gas. So natural gas is sent us a sell. So yeah, I'm curious. I've been counting out copper wins losses. Have 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1. Holy crap! I didn't think this is good. 7, 1, 7, 2, 8, 2, 9, 2, 10, 2. I think this was a stop out, wasn't it? 10, 2. Yeah, 10, 3, 11, 3, 11, 4. 11 and 4. Bond trade. So our bond trade on the sim is up $250. Our stop loss is now trailing. This, I gotta start taking these bond trades on the gauntlet. Ace is going nicely. We're trailing the stop by 3 ticks. So if it pulls back here, we're still 6 ticks in the profit. So a little about $190. So gold, what's gold doing? Gold is trying to come back. Actually, gold did come back. Sure. Was I not paying attention here or what? I mean, obviously this gold signal would have been bad, but this one was the right one to take. Looking for 3.5 points here, 2.5 point stop loss. I go to that. You see me using a 1.6 by 1.2 earlier. But once 8 o'clock hits, um, I go to a bit higher, give it a little bit more room to move. My cat has decided to join me, so I have some trouble seeing the screen right now, but we'll still try to continue on. If you see anything weird pop up, it's because he's stepping on the keyboard. So you can see this is the bond trade that we're in right here. You can see we already had our 7 ticks. It looks like it's about ready to hit our trailing stop. Sorry, my mind froze there for a minute. There we go. So that was a good trade. Shame it wasn't on the gauntlet, but 187.50 on that trade on Sim. Kappa. Kappa, 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 choppy kappa. Big pullback here. Broke this band on a big move up and then started pulling back. But now we're, this, not sure what it wants to do again. There's another sell signal. That went away. So crude heading downward. Natural gas is kind of sideways. Gold is kind of sideways. Bond pulling back. That was an excellent trade. Another winner. And the Russell finally got to a profit target. So you see, well, this was the Russell kind of does its own thing of the indices. You see, it kind of just always stayed in this range here, and it finally worked its way down. NQ and ES is not sure what it wants to do at this point. Tight ranges. Right now, honestly, these signals would be good for like 5 point scalps on the NASDAQ. It's just, it's a very weird day so far. Be interesting to see what happens at the open. copper, continuing to try and give us a sell signal, but it's not convincing me. Copper. See, copper's just, came up here and it's just sideways. Nothing is giving us any real. I mean, they are at times, but I mean, that this would have been a good signal. But it's just, let's take a look at the NQ. Yeah, obviously these would have been successful moves, but let's just look at this big blob here that we're in. Let's look at the signals within them. Ooh, now that's a move. Hold on. We got something on copper here. Maybe this is the move we're looking for. Uh, Copper chart. Let's get in. Ooh, order failed immediately. 2 ticks down, 3 ticks down. This might have been bad. Let's see though. We might be giving back our profit here, but let's see what happens. So we are in a trade on the gauntlet. Immediately 4 ticks down. We're right on the SMA on the 5-minute chart. You can see that here. But the SMA is almost sideways, so that's not too horrible. It's trying to go down for us. I'm not 100% confident in it, but maybe. There we go. Not confident just because of the way it looks on the 5-minute chart. There's not a lot of room there for movement. I like the look on the 1-minute, but the 5-minute just gives me doubt. We're right at break even right now. Now it's moving nice. We're 6 ticks in the profit. See if it continues to move downward. Let's continue to watch this. I'm going to mute for a couple minutes and while I eat some breakfast. Now 8 ticks in the profit, $100. Pull back a little bit again. Continuing to watch it, continuing to chew. So it's pulled all the way back to break even, and now we're 2 ticks down. So that may have been the extent of this move. We'll see. We're getting signals on NQ and GC, so we'll check those while we're waiting here, or while we're watching this. Gold's still kind of sideways. Crude blocked by my chart. Ooh, big move up here on crude. So let's move this gold chart out of the way for a minute. I'm sorry, copper chart. Crude, I see here, we're 15 minutes to the open, so that kind of makes me hesitant to enter any trades, but we are now finally seeing some movement maybe. Back to watching copper screw me over. We're now 3 ticks down. We're back to 6 ticks, and well, we were. Every time I talk, maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. So we're 4 ticks in the profit. I did not look. You know what I should do here is look at some support and resistance. See whether or not there's anything here that we need to keep an eye on. And really, I mean, there isn't. We saw this move down here. This is our next resistance point, really, our support point. Go away. Thank you. So, I mean, there's room to go down here. We're still seeing some selling pressure. So, but we're only, we're back to break even. It's trying to come back. We'll see what happens. So yeah, there's no real other resistance except for the low of the day, which, here and there. So, excuse me, we'll continue to watch it. Let me finish my breakfast as we head into the open. It really is kind of just teasing us here, staying about between 1 and 4 ticks in the profit for the last couple minutes. The longer it stays in this area, the longer I want to close out for a small win, but I'm fighting that urge, even though now it's back. See, now it's back into negative territory for us. These last couple 5-minute candles are green. Oh, now we're 4 ticks down. Have a good day, Pixel Pleaser. Okay, breakfast is done. Eggs are digesting. And we're down 4 ticks on this copper trade, and it's getting worse. So you can see the DOM really starting to move. And we're heading to our stop out. Yeah, now just a few ticks from being stopped out. There we go. Or 1 tick from being stopped out. So this ended up being a bad trade, maybe. It's still fighting. This is why I give it room, but we are 8 minutes to the open. Just trying to fight. Back down to only 18 ticks. At one point, our stop loss was at 15 ticks from our entry point, and at one point it was at 14 ticks. Back down to 8 ticks. Now we're heading back that way again. We're just kind of watching this since we're not going to jump into anything else here this close to the open. If this trade survives until the open, I will stay in it, just because there's no harm in it, because we were getting close to stop that anyway, so what's the worst that can happen is we get stopped out. But we see a definite fight back here, and hopefully sellers keep coming in. The the bid side of the DOM here is not real thick, so if someone came in and market in a sell order, that would be a good thing. But now we're back to this, a few ticks away from stopping. One tick from stop. Okay, there's our stop filled. So let's get back our profit on the day. Now we're excuse me. Now we're down to probably about 20 bucks, 25 bucks, I think. 25 bucks. And then nothing to show for another hours of work. This is why I think the trading gods are really against me. Seconds. 812. So we got in here, as you can see. I went all of 11 ticks at the highest, and then stopped out there. Oh, we didn't stop out there. Why did we get stopped out? What was our entry? 451.30, 451.40. So we got 2 ticks of slippage compared to the candle on the trading view, and that would have made all the difference in the world. We wouldn't, I don't think we would have stopped out. 40 to 15. That's still gonna stop out. Just not showing it right. So ooh, we are less than 1 minute to the New York Open. Let's sit back and watch some great highfalutin action here. Go over to the indices. We're on an uptrend on the Nasdaq as we go into the open. We're on an uptrend on both Nasdaq and the ES. Okay, we're open, starting with moving upwards. ES big drop down. We see, but Nasdaq's continuing to go upwards. It's a bit unusual divergence. Up now the big drop on the Nasdaq. 10 points. By big, I mean these really aren't huge drops. We sometimes see 50-point drops, so we'll see what this does. Do you see it? About 18 points there. There's the bounce on the Nasdaq, or maybe not. It's continuing to head downward, maybe. He doesn't know what it wants to do. You know, we're right in the middle of basically this range here. Nowhere close to our high of the days yet on either Nasdaq or the ES. We're starting to see a climb up here on the NQ. Yeah, there's a big move up on the NQ. Big move. So we did now. Okay, so off this move here, we're still going up. So this would have been a good, once it is established this buy signal here, we should have got in. This would have been a nice 20 points up. So now we did establish a new high of the day on the NASDAQ by a bunch. About 70 points away on the NASDAQ from its all-time highs. We hit all-time highs on the S&P just a bit ago today. So we missed, I wasn't paying attention as I was paying attention to that. We missed this nice sell signal on copper. That would already be close to our profit goal. Gold continuing to sell off. Crude oil started selling off before the open. That would have got us our 30-point goal, or a 30-tick goal, I'm sorry. Natural gas has continued to go down. So this is where I think the trading gods hate me. As you can see, most of these, if I would have taken almost any of these signals, I would have gotten a winning trade. But I took the copper that lost. And it lost only because of slippage, basically. This target was not hit on copper, was it? Looks like it was. Oh yeah, it was. So that would have reached our profit goal. Bonds. Bonds, it's a big candle down here in the bonds, 7 ticks. We could take another bond trade on the sim. Actually, I would not take this trade. Coming into an upward band anyway. So I feel this is going to pull back. We'll see. Either way, I'm not taking it. Gold, trying to recover. NASDAQ finally found that it's high, but it's still trying. ES. ES would have easily reached our 4-point profit target based off this. Oops, guess it didn't. There we go. So that would have worked. Here's gold trying to come back. See, gold did make another new low of the day here. That 8-point range from when we came on the air today is now gone to a 19 points. Got a buy signal on gold as it tries to come back up to the SMA line. Let's take that trade. That's the worst that can happen. Got 20 seconds on this candle. See if it holds. Does not hold. It's right on the line. But there we go. There we go. We're in on a gold trade on Gauntlet. It's immediately pulling back. There we go. It's a nice, hopefully continues its strong move. So we are nearing the SMA line on the 1 minute. I'm sorry. You can see down here in this corner. Ooh, flash down. Ooh, big flash down. And we're heading to our stop out. Okay, stopped out again. That was a bad trade to take, honestly. I thought it might get back to the SMA, but it didn't. So Nasdaq's continuing to go up, 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 up. Uh, uh, almost 50 points since the open. S&P just hit new all-time highs. Broke its high of the day. I can't get a profit. What idiot it was. Wow. This is interesting. While the S&P and the Nasdaq are running to all-time highs, the Russell is just selling off. Look at this. Our that candle down at open was 11.5 points. Crude, gas. If you look at this, the last trades on crude, gas, the bonds, and copper, and everything. The last trades on everything would have worked besides the one I decided to take. Ooh, soybean oil didn't open well. 78 tick drop, dead drop, falling knife down. Corn also didn't, but not nearly as dramatically. I was trying to find something that might actually give me a little luck this morning. Might have hit a high here on the Nasdaq. Doja candle on the 5 right now. Still has a minute to go. See, we're red. The last couple of candles have been red on both the Nasdaq and the S&P. Now, it's kind of sucks here in gold. Uh, we got stopped out. Wrong direction. And we did get stopped out there, but actually there, I'm gonna say, starting to question my fills. Got it 1 minute after the start of that candle at 94.3, and what? Okay, so I'm confused. Wait, we got on this candle. No, we didn't. Got it on this candle. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm stupid. There. Still not sure. Got it at 90. Okay, 94.3. 94.3. It says 93.9, so we got in at 4 ticks late. I'm not sure how that happened either. But it stopped us out, and then it did go up to the SMA line, just like I thought. Would have got up 13 ticks, but hey, it's not supposed to make money. So this Nasdaq did pull back some. It hit a high of 658.50. It's pulled back now to, okay, when I say some, that's a, sometimes the candles don't look as big as they actually are. So we've seen a 20 point pullback. That would have been a nice play once I saw that doji candle to get in there. Here on the S&P, we've seen a pullback as well from the high of 45.83 back down to 45.78, 75. Crude oil trying to make a comeback. Somehow missed that buy signal. I think these signals, the alerts come late. So let's mark that off to see whether or not we'll get there on that. I need to redo my charts where I'm looking at just two screens and 1 minute charts, and then I can use others for reference if I need to. So this is on this 5 minute candle, we're at an 18 point pullback. RTY is now sideways. I thank everyone for joining me this morning. If you have any questions, comments, or want to tell me that you're bored listening to me, feel free. I'm always looking to engage with people in the chat. Copper. I missed the copper signal as well here. What was I doing? Besides feeling sorry for myself. So far this signal has not been the best, but man, now it is. I really need to just rearrange my charts. So this would have been I was right about not wanting to take that trade, and it was a good decision. This would have stopped us out. So far, these two, both of these two, yeah, I've marked them off, and I'll mark them off as on my chart as losses. But I said neither one of these I would take because of this one with the big candle down often means a pullback. It did eventually, go down, continue to go down some. Excuse me. But that pullback would have stopped us out. And then I said this one because we're going into an upper, band. It was basically meeting the bands that I figured it was going to pull back and stop out. So this crude oil trade here would have worked as well. So every trade every trade that's popped up here that would have been potential has worked besides, the one I took. You see that natural gas is continuing to move downward. Looking for something that gives us a good signal. Kind of find something. We had some nice moves there at the open, but now it's kind of like indecisive again. See, we had this big move up here, 50 points basically, and now, leveling out. Crude oil. We see, wait, that's gold. Gold just gave us a sell signal. Missed that. Crude. Looks like crude's going to try and give us a sell as well. Oh, bounced off the SMA. Bonds. Bonds are still going down. See, now, the other thing that's interesting, though, these stop outs on these, ones, they did eventually go. This one didn't go enough, but this one's going as well. But I'm happy with my 7x5 on this. Gold just set a new daily low. So this would have been a stop out, as we saw we were the victim of. So we'll try this. I didn't jump in this, but I could have. Eh. So it looks like the bonds are going to continue to try pushing up. Sell signal on crude here. Looks like a bounce off the SMA line. Really pulled back by 7 ticks though. So let's just wait and see whether or not it comes back down before we try and jump in there. Oh, there. Well, it's indecisive too. Wants to go down, come up, go down, come up. Nothing giving me what I want, what I really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Big move down here on gold, but came right back. ES, Nasdaq trying to push back up. Just made a new daily high again. Looks like it's going to be a bullish day. But honestly, the ES, had that nice run there, and now it's just been choppy. Anyone out there in Twitch or YouTube land have anything to say? Everybody's been quiet. So I don't know. I think we're the bullish kind of rejected there. So I don't know. I can't tell what today wants to be. It might just be a sideways day from here. Not giving us any real direction either way on anything really. The Russell. Oh, the Russell's finally kind of joined. I didn't realize I didn't catch this buy signal back here. There's a buy on the 5. Gold's continuing to try and push down. Natural gas. Looks like that might have been good to take there too. Let's see. Boom. It's not. We got to. It's copper sending us a signal. 48 ticks or so. stretching here. A little bit after 10. Hoping for one more good signal to maybe get us back to break even on the day. Crude's curling up. If I don't see anything exciting here in the next few minutes, I might end the stream. But we'll continue on with at least a goal of 10:30 Eastern. But nothing popping. They're stepping down here on gas. 2 touches now, the SMA line on the crude oil. God. Normally I have signals firing left and right, and there's just, not much going on. Uh, Nasdaq's bumped up against this this daily high 3 times now. And you can see here the S&P also hit its, daily all-time high here. It's come up, close to it on 7 candles here now, but it's not getting through. Gold's continuing to go down. So this would have been a great trade here, but I didn't take it because I missed it. But I gotta learn to jump in even if I would miss it, because even if I had gotten in, I think I saw it here on this candle. So, even if I had jumped in there, because I was using the 2-minute chart before, and I moved to the 1 minute because of the better signals. You can see even on the, if I jumped in there, it would still be a profit target. If we go to the 2-minute chart, you can see I wouldn't have got the signal to here, and I would have got in there. I still would have got the profit target. So I got to learn that I can get in a little bit later, and for the most part, it's going to do the same thing that I've been wanting it to do. So give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. So yeah, gold's still going down. Up. That's as I was talking about not being able to break that high. It just broke that high. So we're still going up here on the indices. Definitely a bullish day here. It's looking like now. You see this white line now on the NASDAQ coming into view on the 5-minute chart here. This white line's its all-time high. And so right now, we just hit 81 on this candle. 81.25. So about 29 points off the all-time high. The all-time high was established, I believe, in September. Let me look. Yes, September 7th was the all-time high. Oh, actually, it's not 7. I marked a little wrong. The actual all-time high is 15,708.75. So, and right now we're at 15,676. So about 32 points away, something like that. Yeah, it's continuing to go. So, there's going to be a time when I just take a long on one, here and just let it roll. because this, it never came close back down to the ATR. It's well above the SMA, and it's continuing to move up. Same thing with this, it's making some power moves now. We got the buy signal way back here at 77, and it's now at 88. So, that's up $550 as it continues to head toward all-time highs. I wouldn't be surprised to see this run to 4,600 and then reverse from there, just based on, the market liking round numbers. There's probably a bunch of sell orders parked at 45,600. Um, be nice to see whether, I don't have a DOM out that far, obviously, but things have gotten relatively quiet here. We see that we broke the SMA on the 5 minute on crude, so this was another good crude trade. Crude's giving us good trades all morning. I just need to start taking more trades. I get spooked when I take losses, but look at this now. You know, this is three straight 30 tick wins on crude oil in both directions. This one we didn't take this short because of the uptrending, but everything, so this would be $900. Um, um, continuing to push. Bonds. So bonds, this sell signal, which I said I would not take, and which would have stopped us out for the five. The five tick was as far as going backwards, and it ended up being a very good signal. You can see it goes down. Now, what should we have done? The best thing to do once we saw it reversing, would have been to draw a line, and right there, right there's where line. Once it came back down, now you see it came back down. Honestly, we're dealing with the 200 period EMA here. This, dark pink line. So, and you see it bounced off that once, twice, three, four, five times basically till it finally broke. So getting in here, we might not have wanted to do that just because of how close we were to the SMA line. I'm sorry, the EMA line. But once it broke here and broke with some oomph, you can see, let's move this there. Got in here. Not sure what this other white line is. I gotta look. But and you see where we easily got our 7 ticks. This white line is, goes back to there. Not sure why I marked that. That might have been a low. Oh, I said we could have got back in there. That's right. So that was just an example. Line was not resistance. Anyway, so if we had waited till the break of the EMA and then got in on the next candle, this is running. It's gone at least 12 ticks now. So that was another nice strategy of where to get in at. RTY. Let's see what it has to say. It's sending off a sell signal here. It's trying to break the SMA line on the 1 minute here. It got above the SMA As you can see, we would have gotten to our profit target just barely on this, entry here. But now it got above the SMA line on the 5 minute here, and it's trying to pull back and break back through. It's an interesting move. And you see our range now has moved from 10 points to 21 points. That huge drop here. It's hard to go short when everything's showing as much strength as it is in the other indices. Copper is completely just going sideways. UB going down. Gold continues its downward trend. Just there. Crude laughing at me for not taking any trades on it. Ha ha ha. And natural gas is going sideways here too now. Continuing to push up. Really getting closer and closer to that all-time high on the NASDAQ, which is basically the only entertainment value we have right now. Probably gonna close up shop here at 10:30 unless something fun happens. Uh, Sorry, I switched over to daily chart to answer a question on Discord. Yep, we're continuing upwards here on the RTY, downwards on the UB. Gold's nice big 26 tick candle here, sending us a buy signal. really far away from the SMA line. Excuse me. So eh, when we see something starting to get really far away from the SMA line, the farther something gets away from a moving average, whatever moving average you use, the farther something gets away from it, the more likely it's going to start pulling back toward it because it's an average. So that's how these things work. They tend to snap back. Thus, the Bollinger Bands, the bands snap back. Hey Jay, how you doing? Ninja Trader not make you go crazy yet? Awesome. 6 hour class doesn't sound like fun, but a new tool sounds good. Oops. Peace there. Thank you. Almost hit 15,700, and now we're seeing a little bounce off that level right before. We're also seeing a bounce here off EVS that at 45.90 exactly the high. So seems like there might have been some orders resting there at that level. We do see sell signals on both the Nasdaq and the S&P, but I have a real problem taking a short here when we've been so strong. We're at all-time highs on the S&P. We're nearing all-time highs on the Nasdaq, and I think especially with the Nasdaq, I think people are going to try and push it up toward that all-time high. The Russell has pulled back. We got a sell signal there as well. Really tight bands. and it's above the SMA on the 5 minute. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that as well. But we're not seeing anything really exciting. We got about. No, I'll keep this. I got a grocery order coming right around 11 o'clock Eastern time. So probably keep this going for another 15 minutes unless something is excitingly top popping. A slow grind on this copper. It's getting close to what would have been a profit target. This gas would have taken a bad turn, and it's always not good to have bad gas. We did get a buy signal off this big candle on I'm sorry, on gold. This is where I said, we're far away, so it had room to move. Let's see how much room it would have used. Would have got 2 points out of it at least. It's still going. It still has room that it go up to the SMA and before it bounces. You know, it's interesting. Platinum here. Look at these bands. That's a Bollinger Band. I don't think I've ever seen it stretched like that before. I guess it looks a little better when it's not, when it's zoomed in a little bit better. But that's an interesting look. You can see that the bands basically stretch more than the price action of the last 2 days. This big move down there on platinum, big, 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 big. We're seeing the indices just kind of goes sideways here for a bit, consolidating. I would guess that we're going to see a little consolidation and it's going to go back upwards. There we go. ES. ES showing down, NQ showing green. So this copper trade would have went to target. So the one trade I did is the one that didn't, which is this one. This is the one that stopped me out. And this is where I think the trading gods just hate me. Look at this. I mean, three three out of four trades worked. The one that didn't is the one I took. So now on the day, 1, 2, so that's 3 to 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2, 8, 2, 9, 2, 9, 3, 10, 3, 11, 3, 12, 3, 12, 4, 13, 4, 14, 4, or 13, 4, because that didn't really count. So 13 and 4, which is better than 75%, and I take the one trade that doesn't work. How does this keep happening? Hopefully by tomorrow's stream, I can move my charts around and I can have just 2 sets of 1 minute charts. So I can only need to look at one or two screens. So I'm not missing entries and I can just grab and go. Still wish I could trade right from TradingView. That would be awesome. Because another way I lose time is trying to find the NQ charts. I'm sorry, NQ charts. NinjaTrader charts. Because, I'm charting over here and then jumping to NinjaTrader. Looks like copper's moving up. Copper actually sent a buy signal in the 5 minute. That would have been interesting to take actually. It's because we're having the roam for both. Both the 5 and the 2. I mean, the 5 and the 1. And we don't. I mean, the next major resistance point from today would have been here. Which is almost 20 ticks away. UB. Well, we missed the UB signal here. Oops. Actually, maybe we didn't. Yeah, we missed the UB signal here. Long here. Yep, that would have been a goodie as well. So what I'm thinking of doing here is like here. We have the. Let's take this one. We have the Ultra Bond here in the 2 minute. Move, say, and G. Okay, have a good nap there, Jay. I'll talk to you on Discord. There, put that on the 1 minute, and CL on the 1 minute, and we can add gold on the 1 minute. That way we're looking at one chart, one screen for everything. Watching for signals on 4 different assets. Gas, treasuries, and then I'll do one for copper and NQES and RTY. We'll leave platinum out. So we see natural gas giving us a buy signal here. After a long downtrend, we're starting a bit of an uptrend, basically since this buy signal here. So let's go back and mark that off. Yes, I'm making chipmunk sounds. What was that signal? RTY. Okay. So we tried to go in this sell and that didn't work. It's almost stopping us out. But this buy here was the reversal basically. It's where right here is where the SMA line started moving upwards somewhat. So we can draw that out, even though we're have this one being drawn out to there. Let's just see. Let's just see if 40. Maybe we should stick to 40. 40 by 20. And that would have got us. That would have got us our goal, even before this one. So that's interesting right there as well. Okay. Yep, we're consolidating. Actually, we have this sell in the S&P. I don't trust it. I don't think we're going to start trending downward at this point. We might. It wouldn't be the first time something hit an all-time high and then sold off the rest of the day. But it's hard to go against the trend at this point in time. Although honestly, we've been trending back downward since the high for the last 20 minutes. Copper still heading upwards toward that resistance I pointed out earlier. It would have went to our profit target off that 5-minute signal. This signal in the Russell have been bad again. That's why you don't want to trade against the trend. The Russell hasn't done the same trend as the other indices really, but we were going upwards. This was down into the bands that just come up to meet it. The better signal to go after with this buy signal. I So nothing exciting going on now. I think I'm gonna call it a day here in the stream. Next stream's tomorrow evening, 7:45 Eastern time. Hopefully we can find some winning trades. I'm gonna continue to look for winning trades today. Continue to try and accomplish something. You're welcome, Rallo. I'm glad you joined me today. And continue good luck with your trading. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.